going on, y'all? So I know a lot of people tuned in to see the Smack URL Halloween event, main event, a mega clash between Murda Mook and Tay Roc. It was trending. I think it was the highest at like #2 in the United States. So it was doing a lot of numbers. A lot of people were viewing it and talking about it on Twitter and stuff. Then the card should be dubbed officially the Night of the Dirty 30s because all the battles prior to Mook and Roc were a clear-cut 30. You had EK versus Loso, clear 30. You had Jerry West versus Danny Myers, surprisingly clear 30. And you had B-Dot versus Holmesy the God, again, another clear 30. It was really wild how like easily it was to call these battles. I was expecting obviously more debatables as battle rap is, but the only battle that is arguably not a 30 is Mook versus Roc. Just a brief discussion. Sue Surf is going to have the ability to avoid paying the $10K that he bet on this battle because there's going to be so many fans out there that are voting for Roc 2-1. Facts. If you give Surf just this much of a debate, an argument to not to pay that bread, I definitely see him being like, I'm not paying you the bread. I won. Or check out this poll, you know what I'm saying? If you base it on the polls as well, the caffeine polls, Roc was winning clearly on the caffeine. Again, it's the polls, but Roc was winning clearly on the caffeine polls for rounds 1 and 2. The only round that anyone just got fully smoked. Well, actually, Roc, I think, kind of on the polls smoked Mook in the second round, but like Mook's third round, like on the polls, demolished Roc, and that's just facts. So the one thing with Tay Roc versus Mook, there are people who are going to argue 3-0 for Mook. There are people who are going to argue that. There are a lot of people that are going to say 2-1 Mook. There are a lot of other people who are going to say 2-1 Roc. But no one can, like, if you're being honest with yourself, no one can honestly say Tay Roc 3-0. No one can say that. Mook versus Roc, round 1, I'll say it was the most debatable round. It was definitely the most debatable round, closest fought round. And if again, just going off of like my memory of the poll numbers, it was the closest fought round in terms of the polls for who was winning what. So that's a toss up. That round was kind of a toss up round. Second round, people could say I'm bugging out, but from my first watch, again, this is late at night right now. It's not like I had like time to review and stuff. First watch, I gave that one to Roc, and third round, clear as day, was Mook. One funny thing that I remember, a lot of battlers were hating on Mook in the comments watching the battle. You had Arsenal trying to flame him. I think Bill Collector was saying some stuff. There was a few people, yo. But I remember one person, clear as day, was Arsenal, was flaming Mook for the whole battle. He was like, Mook is trash, Mook is trash. But then the third round, Arsenal even game it up. It's like, all right, nah, chill, that round was fire. You know what I'm saying? In a close fought fight, you gotta finish strong. Mook's third round, like I was watching, I remember writing my notes, I'm like, there's like no recovery from Tay Roc in this. Like he's definitely about to get smoked off of this round. And off of that third round, when you close the show that definitively, you could be losing in the last 2 rounds. You can walk away with the W off of winning 1 round, even if you potentially won the first 2. You feel me? It was a good clash though. It does play a huge difference when you take away even if it's a small room crowd, when you take away the crowd from the background to react and give energy and their own reactions and kind of sway your opinions on things. It plays a very big difference when it's just no crowd. You can hear the background audio versus seeing the actual small room crowd and seeing the reaction and audio right there. It plays a big difference. One thing for sure, Mook was way more direct than Tay Roc was. People could maybe try to make the argument that Mook chose his angles of attack in the rounds of, he tried to talk about the fight too much or tried to talk about this too much. I don't really know, but at the end of the day, he covered a lot of ground with you know, the stuff that's happened with Tay Roc. And as he said in the My Expert Opinion interview with Math, or discussion, that he was like, all the stuff I'm gonna talk about in the battle, I can talk about because I'm involved. You know what I'm saying? The fight, I was involved with Dot Mob and the ties with Rex and and the allegations of tranny this and tranny that with Rock. I'm part of all of those crews and all those situations, so I can talk about it. And he was super direct, whereas Tay Roc, even in like his best round, like the second round, there were bars that Tay Roc spit where it's just, you know, usual Tay Roc gun bars that you could hear respectfully to Tay. The stuff be having punches, but it's some of them weren't as like heavy hitting. Tay Roc did get a lot of like background reaction. Mook got like crazy background audio reaction in the third, but a lot of Tay Roc's bars for all 3 rounds were bars that he could just spit towards anyone else. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting to hear Roc try to reverse the angle of, you know, the fight that happened with Briz Rothstein and all those dudes, where Mook was, you know, getting at him for being like the chauffeur, holding doors for people and, you know, not wanting to smoke. But then Tay Roc's trying to flip it like, oh, you popped off and then you were nowhere to be seen. The fight was going on backstage, but you weren't there. Like, that was just kind of an interesting angle to try to take, because I'm like, bro, like, whether Mook started it off and then maybe he fell back as people was holding back or not, like, if he set it off, like, he automatically gets points for setting it off. You know what I'm saying? That was just kind of an interesting angle to try to take, which to me was just kind of like, compared to what Mook was saying, wasn't effective. So from my opinion, without like going too crazy into all this other stuff, I have Mook 2-1. There are a lot of people that might try to challenge me, wilding he won all 3 rounds. Cool. I'm still saying he won. You know what I'm saying? Off of that third round, for sure, he definitely won. I'm gonna edge the first to Mook, but I will say the first was debatable. Second for me was Roc. I gotta watch it again. Maybe Mook got the second, but off of first watch only, I'm gonna go Mook 2-1. Like I said, Sue Surf is going to argue that he don't gotta pay up no money. I think he's gonna argue that. It was a good battle. Could have been better. There were dry spots on Roc. I do want to see, because Mook was saying something about, you know, with the audio, I swear, and he swore on his mom, and you know that Mook is taking, you know, obviously, of course, anyone would take if they have a good relationship with their mom's passing and swearing on their mother to be a very serious and legit thing. So for him to, you know, say, I swear on my mom, and then basically go over whatever you heard in the audio of Tay Roc saying, I come over to the tranny before I change my mind. And Mook said in the battle that it's going to be released later. I really want to find out and see if Mook drops that tranny footage. That'll be crazy. That'll be crazy. Or like the audio or something like that. I was wondering personally if like Mook would bring out blackface. That I think would have been crazy. I thought that Mook was maybe going to try to bring out blackface for a surprise, like, you know, shock value thing, getting Roc's face that was popping. Or I thought that Mook was going to be on some, how he rematched Loaded Lux, and he dropped the Loaded Lux, like the secret Lux diss track that Lux made to Busta Rhymes. I thought Mook was going to like drop some heavy, like, you know, I got the files type of stuff. But the one thing that's kind of a little bit whack about this new setup, where it's just the battlers. It's cool that it's just the battlers, like a straight up one-on-one. There's no even crowd reaction to back. But for me, it is a little bit whack where like you can't hit people with a surprise like that when it's just you and the dude. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you have a crowd of people and then some surprise person pops out the crowd for that shock value. You can't do that. Where blackface gonna come from? You know what I'm saying? Gonna come out the wall? Like, there's no way that's gonna happen. So that the limitation of having no crowd in the background does limit like exterior props that you could use that are from outside the battle. In my opinion, I think it limits that and hurts it a little bit in case people have the ability to perform that. But at the end of the day, it's still fire one-on-one. Mook 2-1. Let me know what y'all think.